Hello everybody, this is Cheyenne from HZad Education today with another video regarding the CELPIP reading. We're going to talk about reading part 4. That was one request I was getting from a lot of you. Reading part 4 in CELPIP. What you guys need to understand is this is an argument. It's usually with two people, but I've seen arguments with more than two people. So usually we see a passage in part 4 where there are two people presenting two different points of view. This is important to keep in mind because when you're answering questions, a lot of the questions will be, what did person A say and how did person B oppose to it? Or how do these two people disagree? Or what is the point where they agree and where they're fighting on, where they're fighting? So when you know what each person's opinion is, what they are backing and what they're fighting about, it'll be easy to understand. Now, I don't mean that you have to read the passage first. That's not what I mean. That is the wrong strategy. As I mentioned in my previous videos on CELPIP reading, you want to read the questions first and then the passage. So let's talk about it. Once again, this is on my blog. The link will be in the description. So this reading that I'm going to do with you guys here, we'll discuss strategies, we'll discuss answers. This reading is not on YouTube. On YouTube you can see my face, but to access this, please go to the description and click the link for my blog because it's uploaded there. Okay, you got to read it from the blog and then listen to my YouTube video to really understand what I'm doing. And again, you can subscribe to our blog too. We post a lot of content there and a lot of good tips, and you can learn a lot from there too, apart from our YouTube channel. So let's get into it. There's this reading, and then I have questions 1 and 2. 3, 4, 5 I couldn't upload because this is material made by our institute. We can't upload it on YouTube completely, but if you guys want access to more material, just message me, just email me or comment here, and I'll let you know how you can get access to it. And then after the multiple choice, there are questions 6 to 10 here, so we'll discuss those too. Okay, so this is reading part 4. As soon as I see it, the first thing I'm going to do, no skimming through, no nothing, that's not what we do in CELPIP. We'll just go to question number 1. Question 1 says, Bob believes satisfaction mainly comes from. Okay, so I'm going to go see who Bob is, what Bob is saying, and especially where he is talking about satisfaction. Okay, because I just want to know the question, look at the keywords, go up in the passage, and find just that part of the passage. Okay, so, all right, let's start. Bob Anderson, owner of Maple Tech, has a, okay, so on and so on. I'm looking for the word satisfaction as well. I just see it at the end of the first sentence. So Bob and satisfaction is there. And then in the third sentence, I see the word satisfaction again. So I am reading in the right place. Okay, so I don't want to read this in front of you guys and take your time. But essentially, when you read this first paragraph, you will see that they're talking about Bob, who supports minimalism, and he's talking about life satisfaction, where he is saying that less is more. He's saying that if you want to find ultimate satisfaction, do less working hours because you would have less things to spend on. And then there's this part in the first paragraph. It says, overall, his chief outlook on such behavior is that by desiring lesser, the push to work overtime or 2 jobs will be lesser, since the individual's paycheck will be on par. So again, it's the minimalism opinion he has. He feels if you have less desires, you will work less and you will have less stress, less overtime. Okay, so I'm going to read it just to get the idea. I'm reading it fast with you guys because I don't want to waste your time reading the paragraph. You can just read it on the blog and then understand with what I'm saying. You can match it. So in the exam, I read this. I get the idea. Okay, now I know what question 1 is probably going to ask. Let's go down and look at the options. Option A says having more than one needs. No, he says don't have more than what you need, just get what you need. So B looks like a good option, spending as much as needed. So not more, not less, just as much as you need. So that seems to me as the correct answer. C, buying luxuries. No, he's a minimalist. They don't want luxuries. D, earning more by working overtime. He didn't like overtime. He said, work less, just get what you need, don't work overtime. So B is the correct answer. So you can see not only I stopped at B because that was correct, I eliminated the other options too. So you want to eliminate the wrong ones too. Okay. Um, you can see that B has confusing wording. B is saying spending as much as needed. So it could be, it's the word spending. So it doesn't sound like a minimalist. It's like you're still spending. But the key is it says as much as needed, which means not too much, not more than your means. And that's why it's correct. But the wordings can be tricky, so just be smart. Number two is Chad. Now I gotta see Chad, what he is saying. They're saying Chad disagrees with Bob on the idea of. Now, I don't know what ideas they're disagreeing on. I need to know the exact thing that Bob is saying. So I just read the first paragraph for Bob. I'm gonna read the second paragraph as well, because the question says Chad disagrees with Bob on the idea. So I gotta know everything about Bob. Now I'm gonna read both the first two paragraphs, which were about Bob. Okay. So the first paragraph, he was talking about minimalism. The second paragraph, he's saying that as a businessman, also, if you have a lot of money, make sure you save it and you will have satisfaction by saving it. If you spend it, you will always have the thirst for happiness and you won't get there. So this you will know once you read the part about Bob, which are the first two paragraphs. Now, for Chad, again, you can just read the third paragraph because the third and fourth paragraphs talk about Chad. Okay, you can, once you move your eyes around, you will notice they're all about Chad. But if you read the third paragraph about Chad, you will get the idea of what he's saying. That should be enough to answer the question. But if you need to read the third and fourth, just to make sure, you can do that too. I want to read as least as possible because I don't want too much information. When I go back to the options, I'll forget all about it, right? So I'm just going to read the third paragraph about Chad. When I read it, I understand Chad is a person who wants growth, adventure. He wants people to spend more, okay? And you will understand that by reading the third paragraph. So let's look at the options, A, B, C, D. A, satisfaction that'll come from minimalism. Chad disagrees with Bob on that. Chad says there's no satisfaction with minimalism, there's satisfaction with spending. That is the correct answer. B, Mapletech's products. So for this, I'll go back and see Mapletech. It was mentioned in the first line, but there is nothing about its products, so no. The growth of economy, Bob didn't talk about that much. So you see, that's the problem in CELPIP. You might have two correct answers. C is not wrong. Bob and Chad will disagree on how the economy will grow. But really, between A and C, A is a bigger answer because C, the growth of economy, Bob really didn't talk about the growth of economy. Chad did. So Chad cannot disagree with Bob on the growth of economy. So eliminating C as well. And D, having a bigger paycheck, Bob never said have a bigger paycheck. Bob wants satisfaction with minimalism, which is option A. Okay, so once again, you're reading the question and just going up to read the part that is enough for you to answer, and you come back and answer. And we haven't done paragraph 4 yet, but once you're going to questions 3, 4 or so, you will eventually read it and understand. So pick up the question, read just the part of the passage that's important for the question, and then look at the options. This is good for your memory. You won't remember all of it. If you read all of it and come back, you will forget all of it and read again and waste time. Okay? All right, so 3, 4, 5, which are not here, but you could, of course, use the same strategy. It's all about using the right strategy. Now, there's the comment. So the next part says, here's a comment by a visitor to the website page. Very commonly, it happens in part 4. What you got to do here is understand who this visitor is supporting. Okay, usually it's clear from the first or second line. It says, while Bob has positive intentions, his promotion of such ideas will spell the end of progress for humanity. This guy doesn't like Bob. Simple. So that means he is gonna not like the idea of minimalism. He's gonna like the idea of expansion, growth, and purchases. So as soon as you realize what his opinion will be, all the rest of it will be correct for you. For example, the next sentence, his words need to be taken with, the first answer is correct, severe caution. Because this commenter, he doesn't like Bob. So he's gonna say bad stuff about Bob. He's going to say, look, take his stuff with severe caution. He's not going to say, option 2, no care at all. Due consideration. What is due consideration? Due consideration could be positive or negative. It's very neutral. It's not negative. And then disregard. Well, we can't really disregard what Bob is saying because this guy doesn't support Bob. So he doesn't want to just throw it away. He wants to say, take it with severe caution, option A, because he's going to try to make Bob look like a bad person. Okay? Similarly, you can go to number 7, 8, and 9, 10. You want to make Bob look bad because this guy wants to do the same. So you have to understand his perspective, see where he's coming from, and from his mind, when you think, you can get the options correct. Okay? So that's that. Those are the main strategies for part 4. A few more things. Let's say you're here in the response letter. Just like what we were doing in the multiple choice questions, you can look at the keywords here and go up and find the information in the passage. For example, there's in number 8, there was something about working overtime. Was it number 8? Yeah, there's something about the current hours and working overtime and extra pay. So maybe I'll forget about that by this time. So you can go up and read that part about the working hours, overtime, come back and match it. However, you shouldn't be doing it. Usually this commenter part, the second part of part 4, you should answer from your general understanding of the passage, okay? Because this, you don't have much time in the exam, so you can't always keep going up and down. Other than that, the other part people struggle with is vocab. So part 4 vocab, well, you just got to do lots of vocab practice. I made a video on how you can improve your vocab on YouTube, so once you go through my channel, you'll find that. You can ask me, or you can comment here if you don't know how to improve your vocab, but that's just a long process. You can't just do it in the exam, you got to do it at home before the exam. All right, that's about it. I think that should really help out in part 4, and I hope with these strategies you guys don't struggle as much, considering it's the hardest part in the reading part. But that should really help. Practice with these ideas. Let me know how it goes, and if you need further assistance, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. Turn on your notifications. I post multiple videos now every week for CELPIP, IELTS, English training, and more. So until next time, guys, thank you very much. This is Cheyenne again from HZad Education. Talk to you soon.